Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, texts 14 and 15. So we'll chant both the verses and then we will go to the explanation. 11:14. Tatah sa vismayavishto hrishtaro madhananjayah pranamya shirasa devam kritanjalir abhashata. 11:15. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devam stava deva dehe sarvam statha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishimscha sarvan uragamscha divyan. Tataha, thereafter, saha, he, vismaya avishtaha, being overwhelmed with, being overwhelmed with wonder, Hrishroma, with his bodily hair standing on end, due to great ecstasy, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, Pranamya, offering obeisances, Shirasa, with the head, Devam, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krita Anjali, with folded hands, Abhashata, began to speak. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. 11:14 translation. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Please repeat. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands, he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder, and in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm and quiet, he became ecstatic, his hair stood up, and he began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. Text 15. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Pashyami, I see, Devan, all the demigods, Tava, your, Deva, O Lord, Dehe, in the body. Sarvan, all. Tatha, also. Bhuta, living entities. Vishesha Sanghan, specifically assembled. Brahmanam, Lord Brahma. Isham, Lord Shiva. Kamala Asanastham, sitting on the lotus flower. Rishin, great sages. Cha, also. Sarvan, all. Uragan, serpents. Cha, also. Divyan, divine. 11:15, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva, and all the sages and divine serpents." Purport: Arjuna sees everything in the universe, therefore he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent upon which the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu lies in the lower regions of the universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet, where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna, who was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So this is a very beautiful chapter, and there are very nice prayers by Arjuna to Krishna. As you can see from here itself, it starts 11:15 onwards. Arjuna offers beautiful prayers. In fact, just a couple of verses before this, 10:11, I think. Yeah. You see, 11:10 and 11 also, this is not by Arjuna though. This is the description of the universe in universal form, or Vishwarupa, by Sanjaya. Aneka vaktra nayanam, anekadbhuta darshanam, aneka divyabharanam, divyanekodhyatayudham, divyamalyambaradharam, divyagandhanulepanam, sarvascharyamayam devam, anantam vishvato mukham. So this is the description of the universal form in brief. Now what Arjuna does is goes and explains it in great detail. Of course, cannot be great detail because it's very vast. It's still a sankshipta or a condensed version, but this is just in 2 verses. So the description here is, Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared all over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. So this was the vision of Arjuna. And you can see Prabhupada explains, in these 2 verses, the repeated use of the word many or aneka indicates that there were no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. See? So as you can see, aneka, so many times aneka. Aneka vaktra nayanam, aneka adbhuta darshanam, aneka divyabharanam, divya aneka udyata ayudham. So anantam, and last you see anantam vishvato mukham. So unlimited, everything was unlimited within that Supreme Lord, and that description is being described in a little more detail as Arjuna was seeing it. Now, where else can we find such a poetic description of the most wonderful vision? For example, I have said this, that the scientists are trying to look for different parts of the universe with their telescopes. Sometimes, that Hubble telescope they have sent, apparently it's outside of the solar system. currently and sending some pictures of whatever it could see. And then even to read those scientific theses, it's a very boring PDF, with 127 pages or maybe 1096 pages or whatever. And then there's nothing. Here you can see a vision that no telescope can offer, that in one place he was sitting and seeing, as Prabhupada explained in today's purport, that he was seeing from the bottom to the top of the universe, everything. It's a very nice way that Prabhupada explained here. You see, Uragamscha Divyan, divine serpents. Now immediately he gave the scale of what he was seeing, the serpent on which Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is lying down. And by the way, why does he lie down on a serpent? Of course, that's his will. He can do whatever he wants. But, you see, we have one brand of mattress called King Coil, right? Actually, the real king of coils is that Anantasesh. He's coiled around like this, but he's the king of all snakes, and he's actually the Supreme Lord himself. And not only that, if you see, snakes are cold-blooded. That is by design. It's a reflection of the original bed of the Lord, and it is cooling bed on which Lord Vishnu lies down. And that is the real king coil, Anantasesh. So in this way, the Lord lies down at the bottom of the universe, which is filled half with water. The entire universe is like, imagine a coconut. When you shake it, there's water inside, like that. In fact, that coconut itself is a reflection of the universe. So there's water inside, half of it, and whatever we see as outer space, antariksham, is the remaining half. And that water, half of the universe of water, is actually the perspiration of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Garbha Udaka Shai. Garbha means the womb. The whole universe is like a womb, dark and packed, completely tight. And inside that, actually the universe is covered. The coverings of the universe, the shell of the universe is the 7 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence. Subtle coverings, gross to subtle. So in that is packed up this universe and whatever we see. And half of it is filled with the water of the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, on which he lies down on this snake, who is actually none other than the Lord himself in his Anantasesh form. So from there, which is at the lower regions of the Patala, below even Patala Lok, below even the hellish planets, there the Lord lies down. And from there to Kamalasanastham Brahmanam, to Lord Brahma, who was on the lotus flower, sitting on the lotus flower, and Isham, even Lord Shiva, everyone was there within that Vishwarupa of Krishna. Now this is very significant because, we have written recently, compiled a book, not written. We have gathered all the different evidences from scriptures and compiled a book called Why Worship Only Krishna. A big problem among the Hindus, especially, is they do not know who the Supreme is, and everybody thinks they can worship whoever is their favorite. Ishta Devata, they say. So Ishta Devata, actually, the original meaning of that is that our original relationship is with Krishna. And in the spiritual world, everyone is attached to a particular form of the Lord, of the Vishnu only, or Krishna. So some are attracted to Narasimha, some are attracted to Narayana, Chaturbhuj Narayan. Some are attracted to Varaha, some are attracted to Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, some are attracted to Balaram. So like Hanuman, he is attracted to Ramachandra. So in that, they are attracted to a particular form of Vishnu. So originally that was the meaning, but eventually, as religious principles declined over the ages, when I say decline over the ages, it's like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. It's seasonal changes of religious prominence. Sorry. In Satya Yuga, everybody is religious. Hamsa, everybody is called Hamsa or Swan. Why? Why Swan? Because Swan has a very unique ability that if milk and water is mixed, it can take out just the milk and leave behind the water. We can't really do that, but swans can do. So why are they called swans then? So what if they can take out milk? So they take out the essential portion of everything. They reject what is not essential. What does not deserve our attention, they don't. So everything that is spiritual, they extract. Everything that is material, they're very expert in distinguishing these two and not paying attention to material much, so that they can concentrate their lives on spiritual life, on their spiritual advancement and perfection. For example, to give you an example, like Krishna, when he was a baby, Putana came to kill him by smearing poison on her breast, and she offered her breast for Krishna to suck. But Krishna sucked her life out. She came apparently with actually apparently devotional attitude, but in reality, a very vicious attitude to kill Krishna. But Krishna cannot be killed, so he killed her. But he awarded her. This is beauty of Krishna. Ahobakiyam stanakalakutam jighamsaya payayadapyasadvi lebhe gatim dhatriuchitam tatonyam kamvadayalum sharanam vrajena. She is not sadhvi, she is asadhvi. She came as a demoness. Stana Kalakutam. Kalakutam means the most poisonous poison. Stana means on her breast. So you see, alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than him, Lord Krishna, who granted the position of mother to the she-demon Putana, although she was faithless and had prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. Now she came with a very vicious attitude. Nothing was good about her. In fact, not only was she vicious, but she covered it. And out of deception, she entered into the Yashoda's house and got hold of Krishna. So, nothing was good about her. But, you see how Krishna took the good part. Oh, after all, she has offered her breast to me, so she is like my mother. So, although she was killed here, but her soul went immediately to Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan, and she got the position of Krishna's mother. He took the good part out of it, Krishna. This is the meaning of Hamsa. Although actually there is almost no good in that. Nothing good there. But still he took a good part from that. That's Krishna. And same are his devotees. So there is this beautiful verse about Krishna. Vrityasya pashyati gurun apina paradhan sevam managapi kritam bahudabhyupaiti avishkaroti pishuneshvapinabhyasuyam shilena nirmalamati purushottamoyam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Purushottama, the greatest of all persons, has a pure mind. He is so gentle that even if his servant is implicated in a great offense, he does not take it very seriously. Indeed, if his servant renders some small service, the Lord accepts it as being very great. Even if an envious person blasphemes the Lord never manifests anger against him. This is the point in that Putana's episode. In the Putana's episode, he did not manifest his anger, although externally he killed her, and that was necessary. But what he really gave her was something which even great sages are meditating for millions of years to get it. In the upper planetary systems of Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, they are meditating with great concentration for millions and billions of years to get an association, to get an audience of the Lord, to just see the Lord. Whereas she got a position of mother to serve Krishna there, eternally in the spiritual world. So you see how gentle the Lord is. So this is Hamsa. This is an example of Hamsa. Such are his great qualities. So this verse about Putana's killing of the Lord, Lord's killing of Putana. How can Putana kill the Lord? Come on. So the Lord's killing of Putana and offering her this position of mother attracted who, Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami was a great, self-realized person, but he was not a devotee. He was just, absorbed in Brahmananda or impersonal bliss of impersonal Brahman. So he was an avadhuta. He was careless and carefree, he was going to the forest, but he was not yet a devotee. But this verse of that Putana it actually attracted him and made him a devotee. Atma ramascha munayo nirgrantha apyurukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. Suta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So he was already a liberated soul, but he was attracted by these qualities of Krishna. Now coming back here, those qualities are also in the devotees. So in the Satya Yuga, everybody was a Hamsa. In Treta Yuga, 25% of irreligion crept in to the human civilization. They were 100% religious in Satya Yuga, 75% in Treta Yuga. Then in Dwapar Yuga, in Treta Yuga started the Varnashram system. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. Ashrams. These Varnas and Ashramas, the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas, they are called Varnashram system. Now it is known as some caste system based on birth, but that is a very perverted version of the Varnashram system, which is a very, very scientific system to organize human society based on their qualities and based on their work. Guna karma vibhagashaha, not according to janma vibhagashaha. But it became, in recent years, in Kali Yuga only, it became so bad that it became by birth, Brahmanas by birth. And even now also in Brahmanas family, they have this Upanayan Sanskar, right? The sacred thread, Janevu, Upavita, Yajñopavita. So they have this ceremony when the boy is 5 to 10 years old. They do this ceremony. Just an official ceremonial function, no spiritual significance. So this show bottle Varnashram system, which is now this birth-based caste nonsense system, wasn't existing in those times. It was actually, in fact, it was never authorized by the Lord. The Lord, what he authorized was Guna Karma Vibhagasha. And there are so many examples in Vedic history from our Puranas and Itihasas where we can see a person born in one Varna became another Varna by quality. Like Vishwamitra, he was a Kshatriya, but he became Brahmana. Ravan was actually a Brahmana son. He became not just Kshatriya, he became demon, Rakshas. Prahlad Maharaj was born in Rakshasa Kula, but he became the best of Mahajans of the universe. There are 12 Mahajans of the universe, the topmost elite of the elite, who are the actual knowers of religious principles. He is counted among one of them. He is counted amongst them, Prahlad. And his grandson, Bali Maharaj, also from Asura Kula, became a great devotee. We have in Chandogya Upanishad the example of Satyakama Jabala, who was the son of Jabali, who did not even know who her husband was. Sorry, who her son's father was. Because she was, you can imagine what she was doing. She wasn't sure who her son's father was. So the story was that this tribal boy, Nishadha, he met Gautam Rishi in the forest, and he wanted to become Gautam Rishi's disciple. Gautam Rishi said, I only take Brahmanas as my disciple. Are you a Brahmana? He said, I don't know. Who is your father? He said, I don't know, I've never seen him. I've only grew up with my mother. I was told that he wasn't anymore. Okay, then you ask your mother. Okay, I will ask. He went. So Gautam Rishi waited. Then he went and asked the mother, who is my father? She said, I don't know. And this man, Satyakam Jabal, he was a young man by then, fully developed. He knew what the meaning was when the mother said, I don't know who your father is. He understood the implication of that. And yet he came back to Gautam Rishi and said, my mother does not know who my father is. Gautam Rishi said, okay, I will take you as my disciple. You are actually Brahmana. So how? Because he was Satyakama. He was truthful, and that's the quality of Brahmana. He knew what it meant, and without any hiding, without any trying to cover up, he just starkly just told what the truth was. Gautam Rishi said, this is the quality of Brahmana, I take you as my disciple. There are so many examples in our Vedic scriptures in this way, where in Narad Muni, for example, he was in the Sudrani's son, who also did not see his father as well. And then he served the Bhaktivedantas, and he immediately saw the Lord for once in that lifetime. And then he perfected his meditation just by association with devotees, and he became a perfect devotee. In next life, he became now Narad Muni. Narad Muni, he was a Devarshi, Rishi among the Devatas. You know how exalted Devatas are? Although they are not Krishna himself, but they are exalted devotees of Krishna. Among them, he is the Rishi, and he preached in Puranas, you can see everywhere. Narad Muni went to hellish planets, to Brahmaloka, preaching to everyone. So many great devotees he made. So, and Narad Muni himself said, you see, Yasya yallakshanam proktam pumso varnabhivyanjakam yadanyatrapi drishyeta tattenaiva vinirdishet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. So what are the symptoms of classification? Let's see a little bit. Very briefly, these are Brahmanas. Whoever has these qualities is Brahmana, okay? Not by birth. Shamo damastapah shaucham kshantirarjavameva cha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. 1842 of Bhagavad Gita. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom and religiousness, these are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. If somebody does not have these, he's not Brahmana, even if he's born in Brahmana family. And if somebody has this, even if he's from the worst cultured family, gangster or whatever, if he has these, he's Brahmana. Then Shauryam tejo dhritirdakshyam yuddhe chapya palayanam danam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma svabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. Krishigo raksha vanijyam vaishya karma svabhavajam paricharyatmakam karma shudrasyapi svabhavajam. Farming, Cow protection and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras there is labor and service to others. So today employee culture, that we get employed in a job somewhere, that is actually Shudra. However decorated the thing may be, it is Shudra. Because with just employers, Brahmanas are not like that. Kshatriyas also not like that. Vaishyas also not like that. Only Shudras accept employment. So, so we have to understand like this. So, in this way, religion has been declining. This Varnashram system came in Treta Yuga, then Dwapar Yuga, even more. 50% only was religious. Religious system, religious principles were only 50% manifest. Kali Yuga, 25%, starts with 25, decreases until it goes to 0 at the end of Kali Yuga, which is another 427,000 years from now. Total of 432,000 years, of which 5,000 years have passed, 5,100. Rest 427,000 years are remaining, and they will decline. We are only, imagine, we are just 5,000 years into this, and already it's bad. It's bad already. In the name of religion, so much irreligion is going on. In the name of religion. So eventually this will be completely abolished. And in some countries of the world, even today, we can see that religion is abolished. They're not allowed to have. North Korea, you go and see. That Kim Jong-un is the god there. You cannot worship anyone else. If you say anybody else, you see the parliament, sometime video will come out. He will just walk in, the entire parliament clapping. Because if they are not clapping, if the camera catches them not clapping, they will be killed, executed. You will think that they are very, devoted. No, not. So that's how he rules. There have been many rulers like this. Hiranyakashipu was exactly like this. He was asking his son to chant Om Hiranyaya Namah. He only person in his kingdom who defied the authority of Hiranyakashipu. He never saw. Everybody in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom was like this, like King Jong-un's parliament. But only Prahlad was the only person who dared to go against him. Even the Devatas could not dare to do that. By the unfavorable raise of his eyebrow, they will hide. They will run and hide. The Devatas. That much fear he would strike within the hearts. If the Devatas are, you know what Devatas are? Natural calamities are caused by them, Who can go against those natural calamities? We are powerless, right? When something happens. Those Devatas are scared of him. So, these kinds of asuras, he came from Brahmana's family, Kashyapa Muni's son. Kashyapa Muni, who is Prajapati, his son is Hiranyakashipu Hiranyaksha. Imagine. So, Varna, this is all by qualities, Guna Karma. And Daiva Asura Evacha, godly and demoniac, all this by qualities. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asurastad Viparyaya. Anybody who is against Vishnu, he is a demon. He can be a great devotee of Shiva, or Brahma, or Durga, or Ganesh, or anybody. If he is not a devotee of Vishnu, he is a demon. Ravana is a great example. Shiva's devotee, but he is counted among asuras. Brahma, Hiranyakashipu did a great tapasya to please Brahma. He is also, and there are many examples of Shaktas who are Durga Devi's worshippers, counted among asuras. You will never find in history a devotee of Vishnu who is counted among asuras. Fine, you look in the entire Vedic scriptures anywhere and everywhere, you will never find. Because the moment he becomes Vishnu Bhakti, becomes, you see Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu was big, worshipper of Brahma. But the moment Prahlad became a Vishnu worshipper, he is counted among the Devatas and no more Asura. Anywhere you see. Vritrasura. He is a so-called Asura, by curse actually. Chitraketu became Vritrasura. But because he was a devotee, he is a Vaishnava and not he was higher than Indra. He was battling with Indra. Funny part, he was battling Indra in a war. And he was indomitable. Nobody could strike him down. He was decimating the entire Devata race. and Indra came face to face with him, and the Vajra, the thunderbolt, is the weapon of Indra. Indra did not have the faith that this thunderbolt would kill him. Vritrasura told him, "Why are you afraid? The thunderbolt is given to you by Vishnu. It cannot fail. Throw at me." Because he wanted to die. Because he wanted to die and go back to Vishnu. He was not interested, in what is that? Winning the war or something. He wanted to see the prowess of Vishnu. So Indra did not have the confidence in the Vajra. But Vritrasura on the opposite side, he had confidence in this Vajrayudha. He said, "Throw at me. That is given to you by Vishnu. You don't have faith? I have faith. It can kill me." And it took 1 year to kill Vritrasura with the thunderbolt. 1 year to cut his throat off. Imagine, of the demigods, 1 year. That means 364, what is that? 1 day is, our 1 year is their 1 day. So 365 years you can say. Right? Yeah. 365 years of our time it took to cut his head off with that Vajrayudha. But Vritrasura had the confidence. Indra did not have. So he was a greater devotee than Indra. Nobody could match actually in the whole entire universe Vritrasura. There are a few very nice verses of Vritrasura. In the 6th canto you can see 11th chapter, 24 to 27. So anyway, the problem with Hindus is that they do not know who the Supreme is. Everybody thinks, "Oh, whoever I like, my favorite God is this." What favorite God? Yes, Krishna. So here in these verses, you can see in the 11:15 today, Arjuna saw, what did he see? In him, in the Vishwarupa, were Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. And even the Anantashesh, Vasuki, on which Garbhodakshaya Vishnu was lying down. So he saw from the top to bottom the entire universe sitting in one place. Where is the lens? Where is the telescope that can give you that kind of vision? And even if you see and whatever you do, you are defective. Your instrument is bound to be defective. Because you see now also the way scientists talk about possible life on other planets, they say, "Oh, there is one star. Near the star there seems to be an Earth-like planet, almost of the same size, almost of the same distance from that star. And apparently some photo we have taken, some gases look like it's a oxygen there. And the temperature seems to be like 25 to 45 degrees Celsius. So maybe there is life like Earth." So this is the problem of the scientists. They want to see life exactly like we see here on this Earth. Now, if you see this Earth alone, in the water, we cannot live, but there are living entities who are living there. Just because the life is not the same way that it is here on land, does not mean life cannot exist in the water. Because I cannot live on the water, nobody can live in the water. No. Life can exist in various ways. The problem is these people are looking with these lenses for things that resemble the earth. No. Brahma Samhita says, what is that? Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti kotishvasesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhinnam. You see, vibhuti bhinnam means the atmosphere on each and every planet is unique and different. And there are living entities who have bodies suitable to live there. Just like we don't have a body suitable to live in water, and the fish don't have body suitable to live on land. And similarly, although we don't have a body suitable to live on the sun, there are people living on the sun. And Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, "Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan." I have spoken to the president of the sun planet. When? 120.4 million years ago. And he spoke to his son Vaivasvata Manu, he spoke to his son Ikshvaku, and it has been coming down in the Surya Vamsha, in which Ramachandra Bhagavan came. So that whole parampara of knowledge, handing down the knowledge was happening, and is still currently happening. How did Krishna speak to that sun god? If then nobody can live there in millions of degrees of heat. We can't live there. This body will not survive. Because this body is meant to live in this atmosphere. Similarly, there are bodies suitable. If they have a body of fire, it is very comfortable to live on the sun. But because these scientists do not understand this, they cannot understand. Now you may say, okay, then you should be able to see fiery-bodied people and going around. Well, they have subtle bodies. They are higher than ghosts. Ghosts have subtle bodies, and ghosts are existing. They are even more subtle than the ghosts. Very subtle. So it is impossible for us to see any. In fact, Krishna's illusion is such that we cannot see. Even on the moon, it is a heavenly planet. Moon is a heavenly planet, but we find it like a barren land there. We cannot see. And I have given this explanation multiple times. That we can only see some things. We cannot see everything. Like I told that, if you take a thumb drive, what is that nonsense? Ask them to stop. Thumb drive, if I give you, and if I say there are many nice, beautiful sceneries here in this, and if you break open and see, where is the scenery? Where? I don't see a scenery there. What are you talking about? But that's not the way to see it. Yeah, you are seeing. You can say, yeah, I'm looking at it, but I don't find anything. Yeah, in a sense, you are looking at it, but you still cannot. But if you have the necessary hardware, if you can plug into the computer and then on the screen you can see. So it's a different way of seeing it. Different instruments you need, different kind of senses you would need. If here are just an instrument, but in other planets, the hardware is of the body, how our senses are created. So in that way, everything is there. We don't have the capacity to see those things. That is the proper explanation. But these scientists, that's why they're useless. And not only do they not know anything, but they cannot even articulate it properly. Here you see, Arjuna, he is sitting in one place, looking at this wonderful vision, and he is poetically describing it. Where else can you find a literature or a thesis of scientific telescope vision, whatever was found, in such a poetic way? How beautifully sounding this is, right? Not only is the knowledge so high, but it was encapsulated in such beautiful language. Nowhere else. This is unmatched literature. Cannot find anywhere else in the world. So this is how we have to understand. And here we can see Arjuna was seeing Shiva, Brahma, and all the devatas, everybody later you will see more descriptions. Everything he was seeing in the body of the Lord. So Krishna this is the beginning of that display, of that Vishwarupa. This is his undisputed supremacy is being exhibited by Krishna. So in that book that we compiled, Why Worship Only Krishna? To the exclusion of all devatas, everybody else. Because Krishna says that. When Krishna showed, not only did he say that I am the supreme, in this universal form he showed he is the supreme. Because I can also today say, I am supreme. I am Baba, Tattva Baba. I can say. And people will start worshipping. Stupid people are there who can worship. There are so many Babas there, Gurus, Babas, gods. And people are worshipping just because they are saying they are God. So I can also come up with something. But I cannot show anything. But Krishna showed. So if anybody says that I am God, challenge him. Please show me your Vishwarupa. Oh, you are God. Please show me your Vishwarupa. Then you all will come out. So that's why Krishna's undisputed supremacy, Krishna declared by demonstration and by proclamation. And finally, he said to Arjuna, Sarva dharman parityajam mam, what is that word? Ekam sharanam vraja. Ekam, everybody understands. I think any Indian would understand. Ekam is one. Mam ekam. Mam means me. Me alone. That's why worship only Krishna. We should give up. Every other devata worship, all this we have to give up because it's an insult to Krishna if we worship them all together. The devatas themselves don't like it. Do you know? Devatas themselves don't like it. But because we don't read our scriptures, yes, there are many Puranas which glorify the devatas also. But Padma Puran, Uttarakhanda, it says, this verse is there. Vyamohaya characharasya jagatas te te puranagamas tam tam eva hi devatam paramikam jalpantu kalpavadhi siddhante punareka eva bhagavan vishnu samastagama vyapareshu vivechana vyatikaram Niteshu nischiyate. There are many types of Vedic literatures and supplementary Puranas. In each of them, there are particular demigods who are spoken of as the chief demigods. This is just to create an illusion for moving and non-moving living entities. Let them perpetually engage in such imaginations. However, when one analytically studies all these Vedic literatures collectively, he comes to the conclusion that Lord Vishnu is the one and only Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we spend time reading the Vedic literature, all of it, then we will come to this conclusion. And this is also stated in 4 other Puranas. Here it is said, Srila Jiva Goswami also quotes another common passage which is found in 3 Puranas, namely Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, and Linga Purana, but we found it in also Narasimha Purana. In Narasimha Purana. And Narasimha Purana, we could actually find it in exact reference chapter and verse number. So 4 Puranas. It runs as follows. Alodya sarva shastrani vicharya cha punah punah idam ekam sunishpannam dhyeyo narayana sada. By scrutinizingly reviewing all the revealed scriptures and judging them again and again, it is now concluded that Lord Narayana is the supreme absolute truth, and thus he alone should be worshipped. He alone. We are not a sect of Hinduism. We are not. First of all, Hinduism, those who are proud of being Hindu, I feel ashamed. I feel disgusted. Why? Why are we proud of being Hindu? Hindu is a word which does not even exist in our scripture. It's a name given by Muslims. Muslims gave this name Hindu. Shastras does not have that name. Sanatana Dharma is our name. And it's not, our means what? Not some Indian religion that is Sanatana Dharma. No. It is for all place, all time, and for all people. Sanatana Dharma. So if I'm proud of being a Hindu, that means I did not understand the step 1 of my religion. Because we are not Hindus. We are not. Where in Bhagavad Gita you can find Hindu? Where in the Vedas you can find the word Hindu? Where in the Bhagavatam, Puranas, Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata can you find the word Hindu? And now in India, there is a Hindutva unite. We should unite as Hindus. Otherwise, if we fight among ourselves, we cannot, stand our ground against other religions who are trying to oppress us. There's a big social, kind of reform. It's not a reform. It's just another form of nonsense. They're trying to do in India, with the Modi government that came. People are becoming a little more interested in the religion. In one way, it is good. We're not saying no. But the vast majority of it is just sentimentally driven and not based on the scriptures at all. Just feelings. Recently, Kumbh Mela happened. One reporter, a lady, just harping the same question. Kaise laga, kaise laga, kaise laga? Why kaise laga? And that too, what she's asking, Naga sadhu ko dekhe? Naga sadhu ko dekhe aap? Kaise laga aapko? Why? Why are you so worried about seeing Naga sadhu or not? And why kaise laga means what? How do you feel? Doesn't matter how I feel. Even if I feel the worst, it is the holy rivers which has touched the lotus feet of the Lord, and I'm taking it. It's for blessing. That's it. Finish. Whether I like it or not, whether I understood it or not, whether I felt something or not, it doesn't matter. Duty is what is important, not how I feel. Do you think Ramachandra felt very nice by banishing Sita Devi? He felt nice. Kaise laga aapko? Do we ask like that? Ramachandra did not like it. But as a matter of duty, he did it. That's the lesson we should learn. Duty is more important than our feelings. And what is the duty of all human beings? Is to worship Krishna. That nobody cares. Kya sikha? This question you ask, na? Why are you asking kaise laga? If you're going to the sadhu, you have to learn something from him. Just seeing, I felt something nice. What is the point? All feelings, all useless, nonsense sentiments. Prabhupada said, religion without philosophy is sentimentalism. Philosophy without religion is just mental speculation. Dry speculation without any, it will never lead to any conclusive understanding of anything. We have to have religion with philosophy. Otherwise, all kinds of Kaitava dharma, cheating religions will come in. Our so-called Hinduism, that word, I hate that word, but that religion, our present state of, let's call it actually Hinduism, because it's not the real Sanatana dharma. Sanatana means eternal. This is not eternal. This is some rubbish in Kali Yuga today. Full of confusions and all sorts of unnecessary things have crept into our religion. Who asked anybody to worship Sai Baba, for example? Why? Why Sai Baba? Who is he? Where in the scriptures he's mentioned as God? Show me. If he is not mentioned in the scriptures, he is not God. We have to be very clear about this. Buddha, who came 2600 years ago, was predicted 5000 years ago in the Mahabharata. Srimad Bhagavatam, that he will come in the Kikateshu Bhavishyati. Bhavishyati means in the future he will come in the Bihar province, Kikata province. At that time it was called Kikata province. His mother's name will be Anjana, and his mission will be to stop animal killing, which was rampant during that time under the name of Vedic sacrifice. He rejected the Vedas to stop animal killing. He was predicted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago he came, he was predicted in the Bhagavatam. Krishna Varnam Dvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. Not only Bhagavatam, every scripture predicts. Kalki, who is yet to come 427,000 years later, he is predicted. His father's name is predicted. Vishnu Yasha is his father's name. He will come in the village called Sambhal. He will ride on a horse and he will kill all the mlechas. That is predicted. Who is this Sai Baba? How dare our people call Sai Ram? What is Sai Ram? Sai is a human, Ram is God. You don't put them together. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But this is the state of our religion today. In the name of religion, what we're doing is irreligion. There is a sanstha in India which proclaims, oh, we have made many people ghar vapsi. That means those who have from Hindu religion converted to so-called Christianity or Muslim, we have brought them back to our religion. You know, they proclaim and they give themselves a number, 7,000 we have saved from 1999 when we started this sanstha. And now, till date, 7,000 plus. This was at the time when the Kerala Story movie came out, where, you know, that whole scandal of Hindu girls being converted to Muslim and taken to Middle East for becoming sex slaves for the jihadi terrorists there. That whole thing, that movie exposes that whole racket. And just after that, these people actually said, yes, we know these things were happening, and actually we brought many back to counsel them and brought back to Hinduism. I said, okay, fine, good. I thought, okay. Then in one of the podcasts, their leader, one of the leading ladies in that, they have some gentleman, I don't know whether he's gentle, but he's a man. He was their so-called guru, and she was quoting him, you know, because of his guidance, you know, we ourselves understood, because we were also, you know, how to say, victims of the propaganda, and then we came back. I said, okay. Then she mentioned that we have a YouTube channel, and I said, okay, let me see what is in the YouTube channel. I went to the YouTube channel. First video I saw, Introduction to Hinduism, lesson 1. You know what she was saying? In the first minute, she started, the key to understanding our religion is we should only listen or study the Shruti Shastra, the Vedas and the Upanishads. Puranas and Itihasas should not be read. They are ridiculous. She used the word ridiculous. They don't make any sense. So we should reject the Smriti Shastras completely and only catch hold of the Shruti Shastras. I felt like kicking the lady on her head. I'm not joking. I felt so angry. You know, this is my problem. You know, I immediately wanted to make a video. I'm so slow at it. Immediately I wanted to make a video condemning the rubbish that was going on. But I did not make it until now. So, you see, even the Muslims who they say destroying our religion, they're kind of, you know, cheating us and all that, they don't speak like this openly. Of course, behind closed doors, they may speak many things, I don't know. But openly like this, They don't speak about their own religion like this, that, oh, this part of the Quran you cannot believe, or that hadith you cannot believe, this, and they won't say like that. But we are the only religion who will sabotage our religion. This is the state of so-called Hinduism today. What kind of nonsense is this? Huh? So, there is nothing to be proud of in the current state of so-called Hinduism. Sanatan Dharma is totally different, completely different from that rubbish. It's a hodgepodge of useless ideas, completely not based in any Shastric descriptions. Any Shastra, whether Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, any of the Itihas, nothing. Who knows? How many people know the significance of all the festivals that we have? How many actually have read the entire? Don't say I saw the serial. Don't say that Ramayana, Mahabharata. Okay, there is at least something, some way. At least people have some knowledge of, but it's still not the full. Otherwise, if not for those serials, who would know Ramayana and Mahabharata? Nobody would know. Who has actually picked up the book? Who has those books in their house? First of all, Muslims have Quran, Christians have Bible. What book we have? Facebook. That's what we have. That's literally true. That's the only book we have, if at all. So when we will learn, what we will learn then, like that? Huh? Cricket, we are very up to date. Who is the whole parampara of cricket, we know. But who is the Guru parampara of our Bhagavad Gita? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Who is Vyasadev's Guru? We don't know. Who is Vyasadev's disciple? We don't know. Nothing we know here. That parampara we know. Who is that Bollywood history? We know. Oh, the Khans, the what is that? Kapoors, all those families, the dynasties. Dynasties, Kula, parampara of Hollywood, Bollywood. We know. Hollywood probably we know now by now because so much propaganda they have done. What about our Vedic Mahabharata? Sometimes people don't even know characters in Mahabharata and Ramayana. They mix up. They don't even know. Dasharath where? We don't know. Pandavas, whose mother, who's their father? Who are the brothers of Pandava's father? Nobody, people do not know. If not for that serial, at least some details, some people know something. Even in the serial also, because it's you have to please the masses with that serial, you have to put some compromise there. Not completely scripture. Sometimes there is compromise. But you see, the real thing we don't know. In fact, Ramayana is 25,000 verses. Mahabharata is 100,000 verses. How much can you show in a serial? How much depth there is? So we have to understand our religion by the descriptions of the Shastra. How beautiful they are. How nice knowledge it is. It's so sad that we have lost all interest in this. We have lost all interest. And even we are trying, actually now we are trying to sell our books. Please have a set of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the authorized books, full library. Keep the whole thing in your house. Let it be there. Even if you haven't started everything, you don't need to start everything. Have it there in the house. Even just by having those scriptures, there's so much auspiciousness. The Lord's words are sitting in your house. How auspicious it is. And once you start opening them, how much benefit you can get. So we have this campaign and we are having to beg our own people who are so proud of being a Hindu and who have gone to all kinds of holy places and everything. We are having to beg them to have these books, our own books. Why are you proud? Why are you proud of being a Hindu? I'm not saying you, but whoever says he's proud of being a Hindu, why are they proud? If I'm not proud of having God's word in my house, what am I proud of? Every day I'm watching that doom scroll of social media, and those words can live in my house very much so. And all the movies, everything, all those words can live in my house, but not the words of God. How strange. How strange. And we don't even, Once we start reading, it is so interesting. You cannot put the book down. It is so interesting how much we can know. All curiosity that we may ever have in our lives, everything is satisfied in these books. Sitting in one place, you don't have to learn a big degree, master's, PhD, do nothing of that. All that is a scam to earn money from you and put you in debt. That's what it is. It's a scam of the education is a scam. Let me tell you straight and clear. It's a scam. It's teaching you how to become a slave for the corporate giants who make milk money out of you, and you don't even have time to spend time with your family or in the temple. Nothing you have. That's what it is. They're making you slaves. That's what the education is for. They will reward you. They will give you gold medal. Oh, you got first rank, you gold medal. Or that is during education. During work, there will be other awards and positions they will give you just to make you feel good. But they're keeping you as a slave. You are my slave. You are a good slave. Gold medal. So like, dog biscuit, you give the dog biscuit and, the dog is wagging the tail like that, this is the awards that we get in the education and corporate workplace. That's what it is. Nobody actually learns anything. First step of knowledge is that I must understand who I am. Who I am first. That also they don't know. That's what Bhagavad Gita explains from the beginning. We know who we are, then who God is. We know the whole universe. We know the purpose behind the universe. What the scientists can say about the purpose behind... Okay, they can say, some gases, some Big Bang, some planets, some stars, some galaxies, some constellations and this and that. Okay, fine, very good. What is the purpose behind all this? No, there's no purpose. Just a bang happened. What? Purposeless, meaningless creation is what they are teaching you in the school. In the school, where is the mention of God? Where is the mention of God in the school? There's nothing. Everything they're taking from God. And then don't mention him at all. No, don't mention. That is your private thing. You do at home if you want, if you're a parent. But here you are learning our so-called secular. No, it's not. Don't think it's a neutral thing, secular means. It's an absolute negative. Because they don't want God. They're very clear about it. No, don't bring God here into this. They're very clear about it. That's not secular. Secular means you should be equal to all religions. And you should understand the purpose behind all these different religious systems, which is actually only one. Whichever religion you take, it teaches you how to become obedient to God and love Him. Loving does not mean some fuzzy feelings, I love, some bhava. Starts with obedience, please. Starts with obedience. If I really love Krishna, I have to follow what he says. That's where the real love starts. Not some fuzzy feelings in the heart. No. Not some sentiment again. Unfettered, unhinged sentiment. No, it's not. Starts with obedience. If I really love Krishna, I will do anything he says. So that's how we have to understand what religion is and how beautifully, nicely it is explained. He was he was already a devotee of Krishna, Arjuna. And still, when he saw this wonderful form of the universal form, he was struck with wonder. And ecstasy, all the symptoms of ecstasy were coming. I think recently some bunch of useless women went to, little bit jumped up and came down. Blue Origin. Some rocket. Some bunch of useless women went up. And then say, this is women's empowerment. What did you do? Like jump like monkey? What is the big deal there? You just jumped a little bit higher than a monkey and came down. What is the big deal? So, this is not. We are seeing everything and there's, life-changing experience. All complete crap. Simply they are doing something for, propaganda sake. But, real life-changing is what Arjuna saw. How? He saw the entire universe in one place. He's sitting and saying, where? How can it be possible? But it was possible. Krishna made it possible. Krishna can do anything. He can fit the entire universe in one frame. Why? Yashoda Mata saw within the mouth of Krishna that universe. Arjuna saw in this universal form. So in this way, let us worship the actual God. Don't be cheated by this nonsense rascal Babas and gurus and gods that are loitering in every street corner of India. Don't. And there are some so-called gurus like, this Sadguru. He's a Sadguru, talking nonsense. He's an atheist. He says, oh, Shiva, Adi Yogi. He doesn't believe in Shiva, he doesn't believe in anything. Shiva is a principle for him, something, some vague, impersonal nonsense. He himself said, I have not read any of the Vedic scriptures. I have not read because I can experience, I already experienced. He himself, in his own words, said it. And in this lecture I was giving, I said, he's a nonsense. He should just shut up. I said like this. One of our videos made a short about it and it became viral. Millions of views. Many people angry at me. And I'm happy about it. I will never back down. We have to speak like that. We have to know who is a nonsense and we have to speak up. Why we have to be afraid to speak? Oh, I'll get unpopular. So what? I want to be unpopular among the demons and rascals. And let them agitate, let them think actually. Let them think. They may be angry, but they will never forget. In fact, one famous YouTuber in India, he remembers ISKM very well. He is very clear. He knows that it is different from ISKCON. ISKCON people don't do like that, but these ISKM people, because he's a big follower of Sadhguru and he's a big YouTuber in India. Because he saw my video, he reacted to my video. But we want to do this. We have to expose all the rascals. How can we do that? When we know who real God is. Anybody who presents some other philosophy, other God, reject him immediately and publicly. Shame him. If a thief is there, pickpocket, and if you tell everybody, hey, there is a pickpocket, he is a pickpocket, if I say, then everybody will be alerted. I may have offended the pickpocket, but so what? Why should I worry about offending a pickpocket or not? I should just tell everybody else so that they can stand on guard. So that should be our motto. And we should not also, that is to help others, but also if we at all have any affection for God, we cannot tolerate him being offended like that. When Vedas, he's taking so much efforts to reclaim us, help us by coming here, enacting so many pastimes, speaking so many words for our benefit, and leaving behind those in recorded form, in book form, and he's sending after that acharyas. He is making so much effort to reclaim us, and somebody just comes and says, I don't know, I never read Shastra, you don't need to read anything, you don't need to listen to anything. Then why I should listen to you? Immediately people should question, but they don't. They don't. Oh, he's saying something inspirational. Very good, very good. What is he saying inspirational? So you should know how to even examine someone, how to judge someone. Oh, nowadays it's a thing. Oh, you don't judge. Why you should not judge? Because you have so many bad things, right? That's why you should not judge. We have to judge. Everything has a judgment. What can you do meaningful without judging? Whether you want to take this path or that path in career, or whether you want to choose this partner or that, but some judging is there, no? Who your friend circle is, who your mentor is, who your guru is. Some judging is there, right? There's some criterion. On what basis? On what criterion? What is the criterion? That is Shastra. Once you know what is Shastra, then you can tell a fool from an actual learned person or a genuine person from a cheater. You can easily tell these things. So we have to be very, very conversant, very, very, even more than the lawyers are. We should be conversant with our books. If anybody says anything, we should quote chapter and verse from what Krishna said. Krishna said like this, you are saying like this, it doesn't match, so you are nonsense. Not simply to pick fights, don't get me wrong. But standing on guard not to be cheated and to help others not get cheated. We have to speak strongly. So okay, I'll stop it here. Any questions or comments? Today somehow I went on a rant. Nothing else? Yes?
It is so many million years they have meditated for Krishna, they cannot get Krishna. But how is Buddha go into
Billionaires could not get Krishna?
sages who have meditated
billions of years. Oh.
But Buddha, how did how can it enter? How can Buddha get Krishna? 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 How can Budd
Yes, very good question. So, how did many sages, when they meditated for billions of years, they still have not gotten Krishna yet? But Putana, who is a Rakshasi, she got Krishna. See, the thing is, there is a very nice verse. 7:126 is it? Or 29? Let me see. No. Yeah. तस्माद्वैरानुबन्धेन निर्वैरेण भयेन वा स्नेहात् कामेन वा युञ्ज्यात् कथञ्चिन्नेक्षते पृथक्. Therefore, by enmity or by devotional service, by fear, by affection or by lusty desire, by all of these or any one of them, if a conditioned soul somehow or other concentrates his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same. For the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship. So the qualification of Putana was she was always meditating on Krishna. And she was very eager to see Krishna. She was going everywhere killing children. But her thing was to kill the person who was supposed to kill Kamsa. Kamsa sent her for that. So she was on the search for Krishna in a very eager way, although with a very, very vicious motive. But she was very eager. There was another story where a man, he heard in a Bhagavatam class that, oh, Krishna is, adorned with beautiful earrings and helmet and, girdle and all these things. And bracelets and armlets, whatever, all these decorations, gold and glittering jewels, and he saw. Oh, then he asked the question, Sir, Swamiji, I have a question. What is that? Where is Krishna? Oh, he's in Vrindavan. Oh, okay. Thank you, Swamiji. And after the class, he went to Vrindavan and looking for Krishna because he wanted to steal the gold. So he went with that motive, but he saw Krishna and became devotee. So you see, intention was bad, but because he was so eager to see Krishna, even ordinary people who are sitting in the class may not be having so much faith that if I go to Vrindavan, I can find Krishna there. But he was having that faith that, Swamiji said, Krishna is there in Vrindavan with all these things. Okay, I will definitely go. I will find him somehow or other. He was so determined. Same way Putana was determined to find Krishna and kill him. Because she was determined to find him and ultimately offered her so-called breast milk, but actually it's just poison. But even the imitation of devotional service is so, Krishna is so kind that even if somebody imitates, like pretends to be a pretension of devotion also is rewarded by the Lord, how much more the devotees who are actually devoted will be rewarded by the Lord. So that's the
This is explained in
10:637. 10:637:30. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee, and he is always offered prayers by such worshipable personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Because Krishna embraced Putana's body with great pleasure and sucked her breast, although she was a great witch, she attained the position of a mother in the transcendental world and thus achieved the highest perfection. What then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure and who offered their milk very jubilantly with affection exactly like that of a mother? So you see, beautiful verse. Thank you, bro. Okay, is that? These verses explain how devotional service rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demoniac witch instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna. Nonetheless, in the beginning, she assumed the form of a very beautiful woman and approached Krishna exactly like an affectionate mother, so that Mother Yashoda and Rohini did not doubt her sincerity. She not only tried to kill Krishna, she also cheated the devotees. Yashoda and Rohini. The Lord took all this into consideration, and thus she was automatically promoted to a position like that of Mother Yashoda. As explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are various roles one may play in such a position. Putana was immediately promoted to Vaikuntha Loka, which is also sometimes described as Swarga. The Swarga mentioned in this verse is not the material heavenly planet, but the transcendental world. In Vaikuntha Loka, Putana attained the position of a nurse, Dhatri Uchitam, as described by Uddhava. Putana was elevated to the position of a nurse and maidservant in Golok Vrindavan to assist Mother Yashoda. So it's a beautiful, thank you, Prabhu, for that reference. So this is see how beautiful Krishna is. So you see, just imagine, you read our books, how much nice things we can learn. How many nice things, right? You should read our books, yes.
mention our divine nature, like somebody attains Krishna very quickly, that means they are great devotees. Somebody attains Krishna very lately, that means they are not great. Is it something like that?
So the question is, does it depend on the time period in which the devotee makes it back to Godhead, whether he's a exalted devotee or not? So sometimes Krishna has different reasons why he would put his devotees in this material world, like Priyavrata. Priyavrata was an example in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Puran, where he was he was actually involved in meditation. He did not want anything to do with being a king. But after that, he employed him there to become king. So that Brahma himself came down. And two personalities who are there in this Kali Yuga, incognito, and they are still living, and they will live until the end of Kali Yuga on earth, and they will start the next Satya Yuga. So those people are still remaining here. So, and Hanuman also is still here. As long as Ram's name is chanted in this world, he will remain. So to sometimes, bless the people of this world, he sometimes keeps his devotees for long periods of time. Markandeya Rishi was there, 6 manvantras he was meditating. By the time he opened his eyes, 6 manvantras went. I mean, how many Kali Yugas? 71 cycles times 6. Imagine. So Krishna has different reasons. We cannot say only one way. Of course, he says, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma, and what is a swift deliverer from birth and death. But as soon as one becomes devotee, he is already liberated from birth and death, even though in this life, Jivan Mukta. So it doesn't really matter where he is for the devotee. Wherever the Lord wants him to be, he will be there. If Lord wants him in the material world, he will be here. Like that verse the other day, this verse was shown, Prabhu was showing 7.10.3 Bhagavatam. Bhritya lakshana jignasur bhaktam kamesh vachodayat bhavan samsara bijeshu hridaya granthishu prabho. O my worshipable Lord, because the seed of lusty desires, which is the root cause of material existence, is within the core of everyone's heart, you have sent me. Prahlad is saying this, Prahlad Maharaj to Narasimhadev. He's saying, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptoms of a pure devotee, so that others will be benefited by that. So in this way, Krishna brings in this material world and keeps them here for different various reasons, which are not immediately understood, but his mission is always there to reclaim us. All right, I think we'll stop here. It's getting late. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.